and welcome to this brand new episode of our podcast, HR Voices. Through this podcast, we gather opinions and insights from national and international HR leaders and HR solution providers. Today, HR technology has revolutionized modern staffing processes by the introduction of powerful AI driven solutions and data analytics. AI powered screening, automated communications, and advanced analytics are helping in making informed decisions based on real time data. The integration of these tools has not only streamlined the recruitment processes but also led to better candidate matches and increased diversity in hiring tools. To discuss the changing landscape of staffing with HR technologies, we have with us the CEO staffing of TeamLease, Mr. Kartik Narayan. TeamLease Services is one of India's leading people supply chain companies offering a range of solutions to 3,500 plus employers for their hiring. TeamLease has hired 20 lakh people over the past 20 years. Welcome to our podcast, Kartik.
Thank you, Bilquis, and thanks for the introduction.
We'll straight away go to the first question. Please set the context of the conversation. We want to understand the current demand and supply opportunities and challenges in hiring today, and which industries are seeing high demand for hiring, and what are the trends in hiring?
Yeah, Bilquis, thank you. I think as you mentioned in your introduction, we are TeamLease as a company is at the confluence of employment, employability, and ease of doing business, right? So we have 6 companies which are, in this particular space. And one of the aspects, our flagship company, which is TeamLease Staffing, which is 22 years old, one of the aspects that we do is twice a year, we do a survey of 1,300 plus companies, right? And that gives us a good lead indicator of across the different industries, what is the kind of demand and supply challenges that companies are facing, and also CHROs and other CXOs kind of tell us saying what are the kind of skills and competencies they are looking for, right? So it gives us a really good view. Now, as of the latest survey that we did for H2, and this of course slightly predates Q3, per se, and this survey, which has been done across 1,300 odd companies across 20 different cities and multiple competencies, kind of let us know that about 59% of the companies are looking at increasing their headcount of some sort. Okay, about 22% said they are going to remain flattish; they're not going to increase any manpower in H2. But 19% said they're going to look at increasing headcount. Right, so that's the positive part of it, saying overall there seems to be in H2 a net 7.1% increase in employment. Now, the question really is saying who is doing this across, because you're hearing so much mixed feedback coming to you. So no surprises. I think the one which is really taking off is e-commerce, and within that quick commerce.
Quick commerce, correct.
Because I think that's one which is doing well. I think retail is also kind of coming back, a bit of a rebound. So disproportionate number of retail companies intend to kind of increase their workforce. Perhaps not quantum, but definitely look at increasing. And the third is automotive, largely led by EV, more than the traditional automotive. Because given now that I know in retrospect, while that was the intention, I think Q3 now we can say is a bit of a slowdown for the automotive sector. Now, that's one part of it, which is what is the large proportion within a particular industry that these companies want to increase the workforce. When you look at companies which are, industries which are looking at hiring the most, the number one is logistics. They have come back and said, they're going to, again, it is quite close, correlation to e-commerce and quick commerce, so that they're also kind of, gaining. The second is EV and EV infrastructure. I think that expansion is also taking place. They are going to hire the maximum percentage. And the third one picking up now, though was subdued in the back, was agriculture and agrochemicals, right? I think that's another business which is picking up.
When we speak of, I'm sorry, I will just divert the question to another angle, which is the skilled workforce today. So we have seen that the demand for industry-specific skilled candidates is very high.
Yeah.
But the supply is lesser. How do we manage this challenge?
So, because actually, this is a problem which is very less understood, because, generally when you have a conversation, people come back and say, oh, India has a lot of unemployment problem. India does not have an unemployment problem. India has a lack of skills problem, right? India has a lack of wages problem. India has a lack of productivity problem, right? And that's why all of this is interlinked. So again, to break down this problem, you really have to go industry by industry. Um, a very large part of a very horizontal problem, if I have to describe, which affects every industry, is the fact that disproportionate part of young people are actually up in north and northeast, right? The 4 5 southern states are actually aging, right? And hence, all the jobs seem to be for manufacturing, for example, and even in services, quick commerce and all, while it is the quick commerce part is across the country. But jobs, for example, in South, which are for manufacturing, you really need to get in people up from North, relocate them down to South for them to be working out of here. So I think migration across the country for absolutely entry-level jobs is seeming to be one constraint. I think the second constraint is, depending on whose statistics you believe. Obviously, 65% of India is less than 35 years of age. But they say that close to 50% plus of our graduates are not employable, right? I think that's the
Correct.
other part of the problem that, most of the CHROs are coming back and saying, listen, there's no connection between what we want from a particular employee on day one and the skills that they have been taught in education, right? Background. I think those are some of the challenges that is being faced by the industry. There is, again, I'll tell you, I mean, as a company, we have like 30,000 open positions in any given month, right?
Wow.
But we simply don't have enough people to fill those.
That's a large number.
Yeah.
So coming back to the topic on which we really want to focus is HR technology. What do you think is the role of HR technology in automating and facilitating hiring processes?
Enormous, Bilquis. I think the fact that I have so many open positions and there are different aspects of it. I think the number one aspect is to be able to have even a database of all these potential people who are looking for a role. And I think private sector has played a role in that, in being able to get across all these individuals documented in a database. Similarly, I think government through its employment exchange and other portals where you are enlisting yourself has created databases, but these are all still work in isolation. I think as we move forward to be able to have a consolidated database nationwide of people who are looking for employment, I think will be one aspect that different HR companies will be able to tap into, right? Today, I think that's problem number one. I think the second problem is, really being able to do fitment. I mean, there are jobs and there are people. How do you make a fitment? How do you understand who has what skills? I think technology then plays a really good role in that. If you have a proper indexation or tagging of, who has got what skills, that also I would say, is work in progress as far as the industry is concerned. So that's the second part of it. The third part of it, which obviously is of more recent thing, saying how do you shortlist, which was extremely manpower intensive, is obviously now getting a little bit of benefit from AI, right? Your ability to now shortlist resumes, etc., and all that becomes that much more faster given the technology which is available. And of course, the rest of the process on the HR tech platform is completely online, which is how do you quickly onboard a person? How do you quickly do background verification with Aadhaar, PAN card, bank, etc., and all that, even police verification, what you want to do. So now I think I think that aspect of being able to shortlist a candidate, onboard them, make them productive, is completely now taken over by a tech platform.
A wonderful point of view there. Further talking about technology, do you think AI, virtual reality, machine learning, these are all transforming staffing, like you said? Do you think these technologies are capable of replacing human intellect? And how do you see these technologies affecting the youngsters, especially the young generation who's coming into employable age? How is it affecting them?
No, Bilquis, it's a great question, and I think there are multiple strands to that question. I think point number one is, I think within organizations, okay, uh, I think AI, VR, AR, whatever technology is going to be employed, is going to, I think, remove whatever is a repeated, automated checklist work, right? So whatever is of lower quality work, that is going to get automated, and hence employees will no longer be required to do that, and hence their time will be freed up to do what is the most important thing humans are good at, which is creative work, right? So that's the first part of it. I think including for individuals like me and you, or even in corporations, what is going to happen is we will be able to automate a lot of work which ideally we should not be spending time on at all, right? I think
Right.
that is the second aspect, which is really, going to take place. I think from a, work productivity perspective, I think that is going to have the largest impact. Outside of that, it will take a little bit of time for the entire, thing to play out. But in the future, I'm fairly certain that, like in resumes in older times, they used to ask you, do you know Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint? I think there will be
Correct.
something like AI literacy. They will say,
Yeah,
okay, English, Hindi, do you know, are you literate in AI? I think that will definitely come into play.
that's fantastic point of view. We briefly discussed about skilling. So I also want to understand from you how HR technology is affecting skilling part.
I think one of the really good things which have happened because in India, especially because of really cheap internet rates, is the democratization of learning. Right? If you try and recall, pre-COVID and post-COVID, there used to be only a set of people who, for example, used to do video calling. Now you see
Correct.
it's just about everybody who has a mobile.
Everybody is doing it.
Exactly. And I think in that sense as well, I think education in terms of bite-sized learning on mobile, I think that degree of comfort has now come in, right? I think there
Yeah.
is now a great opportunity to be able to raise the level of a lot of people without doing credentialing. And what I mean by credentialing is, in the olden days, you have to go to a college, get a degree to reach a particular level. I think now autodidactism is the word, which is self-learning. So you can, on any topic, go to your, YouTube portal or any other portal and being able to pick up. Similarly, I think specialized companies which provide this training will be able to gamify the entire thing and lift entire sets of employees basis any amount of training or specialized training that they would want to receive. And I think companies are doing that.
Very well said. Uh, when we are talking of technology, we also often connect it with future.
Hmm.
So, one closing remark from you, ideas from you as to how technology is going to affect skilling, staffing over the next 2 years.
I think it's a great question again, Bilquis. I mean, future obviously has to arrive, but in my view, we have now kind of entered a golden age where technology is going to be a significant force multiplier to individual effort. And I think what is important for us to be able to look forward and embrace this new technology and really focus on what we have ideally kind of left behind. Uh, be very high on collaboration, high on empathy, and really be high on working together with different teams to solving complex problems. I think technology is going to play a disproportionate role in in individuals being able to accomplish that. And in my view, that is going to be the way forward for all of us.
Fantastic. I'm sure the future is bright and we look forward to it. And thank you so much today for giving us time, Kartik. It was wonderful speaking to you, and we hope to catch up soon with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you so much.